started recording, and today we're talking about really the overview of how do you start editing your website. Where do you go to begin? How do you log in? And that side of it. You will get a copy of this recording today. And our session today is going to take about 40 minutes as we jump through. So without further hesitation, I'm going to begin. Just a note though, as we go in and as we are editing, if you have any questions at all, I am more than happy to help you. And I would encourage you to just type them into that chat box so that we can really dig in and get going. So the first thing that I want to let you know is once you are on your agent website, so you need to make sure you're not on your company website, but on your agent site, which is likely either your full name, your first and last name, dot your company website, or it's your username dot your company website. So it likely is, for example, mine would be kfulton.iqre.com. And once you're on your site, you're going to scroll to the very bottom of this page. And once you're on the very bottom of this page, you can go ahead, you can click Site Login, and that is going to allow you to log into your website. Now, once you're at this screen, you'll put in your username and password. It is the same as your Office, and you'll click Login. Once you are logged in, you will know you're logged in because you'll get a black bar across the top of your screen. So across the top of your screen, you'll get a black bar, and that's how you know you're in editing mode. So once you're in editing mode as well, you'll notice that there are pencils that highlight over each individual section of your website. And so you can click and have those items show here. Now, if you have not ever logged into your website before, or you are a brand new user, and I recognize some of your names on this, but I know some of you are also newer users, you can start by going to this design button. If you are a current user and you haven't edited your website in some time, it also would benefit you to go in and look at some of the additional templates, because as we have expanded as a company, we started with a very limited number of designs, but now there are many more designs available. And so you can go in, you can choose the design that you like, and once you choose that design and click Use this design, it's automatically going to update your website. So I can see that my website has updated. Now, notice when I went in and I chose the design that you do on the left-hand side get a thumbnail of what that design looks like. You also get a quick snapshot of the features of that website. So if you're looking for something like your image and information displayed in the header, then you want to make sure that that is indeed a feature underneath the bulleted list. Once you've chosen that design, again, click Use this design and it will automatically update. Now, within this screen, once you've chosen your design, you can edit a lot of the individual sections. In order to begin editing, you're going to want to click on this white Edit Page button in the upper right-hand corner. And when you do that, it is going to bring those edit buttons back so that each of these sections are indeed something that you can edit. We're going to start by editing this top header hero image and showing you some of what you can do. So I'm going to click on this white edit pencil button here, and it is going to bring up the edit screen. Now you'll notice that I have 6 slides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You only have to have one image. So if you don't want a slideshow, you just want one image on your screen, you can absolutely do that. You, underneath the other slide options, would just choose underneath show. You would change from yes to no, so that then you only had one image. If you decide later you want a slideshow, not a big deal. You can go in and mark these as yes, and they will show again. Also, underneath the slideshow, if you want to change any of the images, you're going to click the blue change button here, and then you have a couple options. So you can upload your own images. So option number 1 is, hey, you want to go in, you want to upload your own images. Awesome. I'm going to add maybe this image to my site. I'm going to add that. It will upload it, and it will insert it in for me. Now, once I've uploaded an image, and hang tight as my computer is working on it, there it goes. So it's processing it. To select the image, it's going to auto insert it. If you decide you don't like it, no big deal. Go back to change and select a different image. You also have access to company images. So many of you have companies who have likely uploaded some images, and you can access those company images under the company image folder. The next section is this back at you images. And the back at you images are where you can find all of the images that we provide that you can use as stock. I do want to just quickly note that underneath many of these headers on the left-hand side, you're going to see all the different categories. But underneath each individual category, often there are subcategories where you could go in and choose a specific area and click select. Again, each image is something that you can edit, and you can use a variety of your own images, your company images, and images that we have provided. If you are looking for holiday or seasonal photos, you would access those underneath the holiday heading. And then you can go in and you can say, hey, I want some summer photos. And you can say, I absolutely love this girl blowing bubbles. Once you've made all your changes to the photos, if you click OK, you'll notice that those photos immediately change. You can scroll through them to see what they look like. And once you're satisfied with your changes, you're going to click that green Save button in the upper right-hand corner. So now I've got that green Save button. My header images are saved, and I can move forward. Now, a couple other options depending on the layout you choose. You may have the option to insert a video or a YouTube video onto your site. These are radio buttons. So if you choose to use a video, we do have some stock videos available for you. You would click that blue change button, and you could select from the videos available, changing the brightness or the contrast by here using this bar. Again, once you've made your changes, clicking OK and having that save button. Something to note if you're choosing a video is for mobile optimization of your website, we are not going to display the video on a user's phone so that if they are in an area with poor reception, your website will still load quickly. And so you do want to make sure that you have a good image in your first image because that will be the default. Does that make sense to everyone? Molly, Lakeisha, Robert, does that make sense to y'all? Awesome. The last thing that you can do on your website is you can display a YouTube video. To get this video, you would just go to youtube.com. You would search for the video you wanted to show. And then once you found the video you wanted to show,
here in Idaho,
you would click on the share button. You need this link for this. You would copy that video in. It will show you a quick preview. You're going to decide, do you want this video to be muted, yes or no? And once you click OK, again, that video is going to automatically insert for you. Now, on that header image, on the right-hand side, you can edit your headline. You can choose if you would like to have, resale or lease. You can choose to have residential properties as your default. And you can click OK. And then it's going to enter that information in. If you decide you don't want a video, no big deal. Go back in, click slideshow. Anytime, though, this green save button is showing in your upper right-hand corner, you need to click it so that you don't lose your changes, right? There's nothing more frustrating in the entire world than working really hard on something in technology, forgetting to click save because you've gotten pulled away on a different project, and now you have to go in and start from scratch. That is extremely frustrating. And once you're done editing that header, and notice after I click save, you do have to re-click that edit button if it shows so that you can go back into editing mode. Before we scroll down and talk a little bit more about the other items on your page, are there any questions about how to edit the header information? Any questions there? Joan, Sandra, Al, do you have any questions for me before we go to the next section? Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So as I scroll down, you can edit many things on this page. So if I want to edit like this home begins here, I can click. Again, maybe I want this to be home begins here. I like the whether you're searching for your dream home, moving to the next, experience the difference. Maybe I want to say look now or search now as the button text. And then I can choose where I want this link to go. So if I have an item or a tile or something that has a where would you like this link to go, you can select the link. To do that, you're going to click on select a link. You have the option of back at you pages. So back at you pages are pages that we create. So if you want this to go to all listings for sale or maybe all residential listings, you would choose that from the drop down. If you wanted to utilize a lead source, you can access your company's lead sources here. You can create custom pages. We're going to talk about that today. But to access your custom pages, that's where you would click, and then you could use that drop down to browse. You could also choose for a specific listing. So if you wanted to highlight a specific listing, you absolutely could do that. And then I'm going to go in, we're going to use residential. I'm going to push OK. And now it's going to save that. Again, on the left-hand side, you can see there's an image, and here's that blue button if you'd like to change it. Again, same options as editing the header. I can go in, I can say, hey, I want exterior photos of homes. And there are stock photos available for you here of many different styles of homes. And I can push OK, and my site is automatically changed. Again, remembering to click the save button so that you do not lose your changes. The same is true with tiles. I'm just going to quickly touch on this so that you can see it. I click the edit button. I can choose how many panels I would like to have displayed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I can change the title, the description, the button text. I can also change the links. What's my home worth? I want this to go in. I want the lead source to be back at you home value. Awesome. About me. Okay, I want to change this. I want to utilize a photo of me for this. I can change it. It will also tell you the suggested image size so that if you're uploading a photo for that square, you can do that. Okay, find your office. Maybe this isn't going to work. Maybe you want this to be sign up for my newsletter. And I want this to go in, and I'm going to select that lead source of, newsletter or request information. Okay. I can change that. I can use stock images. I'm going to go in. We're going to load some technology photos here. And I can select. Once I've done and I've touched all my panels, I can click save, and I can visibly see all of my changes on the website. So the first step of your site is really editing the landing page, that home page, so that this reflects who you are in the video. How do you find home begins here to change? Pamela, are you talking about this section? Depending on the layout that you've selected, you may or may not have this panel. If I go in and I've selected a different design, you may not have a Home Begins panel. What I really want to make sure is that you all know that you can go in and that each segment of your website is something that you can edit. Does that answer your question, Pamela? That's a really good question. So if you may have different sections for that. Yeah, so Joan, that's a great question. We're going to get to that towards the end of this. But I can quick jump there. So Joan asked, is there a help desk for login information? Really, your first line of defense is going to be your office manager. So if you can't log in, you're going to reach out to your office administrator or your office manager. They can help you get logged in. Or you can log into your back office. And you can see in your profile, you can look at what your website information is. So if you don't know your login information, first step in line of defense is your office. And the second line of defense is in that back office section. So next question is, I'm looking for panel or features that allow me to have a little search in my key areas, not the large search that Back At You is putting in the feature areas. Pamela, do you mean a little search as in it's small on the screen? Or do you mean a search that is really more refined? I guess I need a little bit more information to be able to answer that. Awesome. So, yep, I'm gonna get there. We're getting to how you can create custom pages. So, once you've finished editing your section or your information, you can move on, and there's other things you can do for your site. Before we do that, I do want to mention you can hide sections. So if you don't want to show this main search here, you want to hide it, you can do that, and it will hide that to the consumer so that when they log in, they only see what you have marked as visible. So I just clicked refresh. You can see here, okay, it's hidden that search bar. Now, Pamela brought up a great question. What if I want to create my own pages? I want to display a really specific property type or geographic area. Can I create some custom pages to link to menus? Either here, I want to link them to my menu page up here, or whatnot. The answer to that is yes, you absolutely can. And so to do that, at the top of your screen underneath your Back At You editor, we've gone to the design tab, but now we're going to go in and we're going to go to the pages. So you can create your own pages here. And you can see here, I've made it several pages, but to create a new page, you're going to click plus new page. And once I do that, there are two types of pages you can make. You can make standard pages. A standard page means, hey, once you put the information into your page, it stays the same for an undetermined amount of time. So until you go in and you edit that information, it's going to stay the same. There are several different layouts. An example of a standard page, maybe for this template number 6, would be, hey, I'm going to do a page about keeping your lending. So I want to do a page about the importance of keeping your lending together and what to do or not do during the buying process. And then I'm going to feature 3 of my favorite lenders underneath that information. So I can easily write a little bit of text at the top, and then underneath these 3 items, I can feature, Janie Smith and Bruce Willingston and Sandra Sutton as my lenders. There is also the option underneath this to have a dynamic page. So what a dynamic page is it is a page where the information is automatically pulling from somewhere else. For you as an agent, it would specifically be pulling from the MLS. So if I want to create a page about a certain geographic area, I can use either the listings template 1, areas template 1, or areas template 2 to automatically pull listings from my MLS. How many office administrators do I have on the call today? A few, maybe? Okay, awesome. So Molly, know that for you, if you wanted to have a page that dynamically pulled agents from your roster, there's 2 different templates for that, where you could have like a luxury agent page or a farm and ranch agent page or a relocation agent page, depending on agents in your office. And that's why you would use those agent templates. Worked very similar to the listings. It's just with the people in your office rather than with listings. So I am going to make a listings template. And when I do that, I selected the template that I wanted to use. And then I'm going to click next. So on this next page, I'm going to give the page some information. I'm going to give it a name to stand it up, and I'm going to give it a title to stand it up. Also, Molly, if you're creating a page for your office, you're going to have an option here that says, do you want to make this page global? That means that your agents in your office can access it and clone it if they want. So if you made a page about farm and ranches available in your area, it was global, and then Julia wanted to copy that, she could do that. So I'm going to give this the page name. I'm going to call this page geographical search. I'm going to add additional information, or the title, GeoSearch. And then I can add a description. So if I want to add some keywords in that description, I can do that. When you name the page, the name is what goes in the URL. So whatever you put in that name box is what's going to show up here in the address bar. The title is something that you can easily change. Hey, I need to change the title of my page. No big deal. Once I'm done here, I can click OK. And now I can go ahead and start to edit this page. Again, the first place I do that is underneath Edit Page. Here, I'm going to let you know that anything that says suggested, so when this says suggested image size, if you don't put anything in here, it will show this picture of a gray mountain. Anything that says optional, if you don't put anything in, when you click save, these will disappear. So optional versus suggested is the size of image you need to place there. So I'm going to click on edit. I'm going to choose an image. I'm just going to use the sunflower image. I can also go in anytime that's green save buttons. I'm not forgetting to click the green save button. I can edit the text. So Pamela, if you wanted to write a little bit about that geographic area. Pamela, where are you located? Awesome. So if you wanted to write a little bit about the Florida Keys and the difference, the difference in Key Largo versus Key West and the importance of finding the right key for you, or you wanted to write specifically about one key here, you could put like, hey, this is the benefit of living on this key. This is the lifestyle. This is the pricing. This is what happens during tornado season. You can put all of that, type that text in here and click OK, and it will display. When you go to edit the listings down below here, you can actually click on edit You can choose if you only want your listings to show, yes or no, or only company properties, no. This means if you click this to no, it means it's going to pull in all MLS properties. And then you can type that location. So if you wanted Key Largo, you could type that location in and it will pull from a list. The MLS that's attached to this demo site is in Nevada, so you can type your location in. And then you can set some parameters. If your only parameter is location, awesome. Type in your location. As you begin to type, it will choose from the a drop down will appear where you can choose it, and then you'll click OK, and those listings will automatically populate. So all of those listings will auto-populate from MLS. As those listings are updating to expired or canceled or pending, your listings will also automatically update. The nice thing about this is your consumer is getting that very focused information in one place. But if they want to tap into the entire MLS, they can also still access that full MLS search. So it's the best of both worlds. Now, a couple things that I do want to just quickly note. One, there is an optional statistics on the page that I brought out. When you choose optional statistics, it will take the information from the listings that you're showing and it will break those down for statistics, so you don't have to do any of the math. As those listings adjust, this section will also adjust. There is a section for an optional menu. So actually, Pamela Keys is a great example of this. So if you wanted to build a page that was Key Largo, and a page that was Key West, and a page that was another key, and you wanted all these different keys, you could actually create a menu that had links to each one of the keys here and attach it. Does that make sense, everyone? So an optional menu is an additional menu that you could add, and then you could link all your custom pages into that menu if you would like. The other thing I want to talk about as we're talking about that optional menu is how the heck do you get to this page, right? I created it, I've got a URL for it, but it's not connected to anything. So it's not connected to my home or my for sale or my portal. It's not connected to any of these menu items. What if I want to connect it? Well, that brings us to the next item underneath the editor, and that is menus. So if I click on menus, I'm going to go and I'm going to edit my site menu. When I go in and I edit it, I can add this page I just added to any menu item or as a top menu item. So I'm going to go into custom pages. I'm going to select my page, geographical search. I'm going to name it, hey, this is a geo search. And I can add that either as a top menu item, or I can go in and I can say, hey, I want this to be a submenu of my for sale ad. Now I've got it. There it is, geo search. When I click save and I go back to my for sale, now I've got that geo search underneath that menu item. This is an awesome, awesome way to edit it. If you want to go back in, maybe you don't like all those menu items. Maybe you say, hey, I don't want to have a hot new listings. Great. Click the garbage next to it, and it will delete that menu item from your main screen. So your menu items and your menu links are also something that is editable. Before we go to the next few things that we've got, are there any questions so far that I can answer? Nora, I'm glad you like that. Pamela, did that answer your question? Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Tanya, Lakeisha, Lisa, Robert, any questions that I can answer for you all before I go to the next section? Okay. The next thing that I do want to just quickly talk about is you'll notice that there is an About Me section. And if you're under the About Me section, you'll notice that you have a bio. There's a place for testimonials. It will show your listings. And so there's a lot of information here. Nora, yes, this is being recorded. And what if you want to edit this? So you'll notice I don't have a white edit button up in the upper right-hand corner, right? I can't edit this. So if I wanted to change the YouTube link, how do I do that? All of this information, because it's displayed on your company website as well as your agent website, is something that you have to edit when you're in the back office. So to edit your profile, you're going to click on your name in the upper right-hand corner. You're going to go into profile. And then this is where you can edit this. So you can add your name. You can edit your name, your information. If you have social media links that you want to add, you can add your social media links in. And at the very bottom of this screen is where you can edit your profile text and your video. So I'm in as a different user. Let me just quickly switch so you can see what this looks like live. Here's my profile. I could add my Facebook. I can add my Twitter. Anytime I'm making changes, I'm clicking save. And as I scroll down, I can change my image. So the first image will always be the one that shows. So I can rearrange these. I can upload a different image. Okay, I need to use a different YouTube link. I've got a different YouTube link in there. I'm going to say, hey, great information about why to use me as a real estate agent. And you can put that information in here. Quick note on your bio, you should be updating it at least once a year. Better practice would be once a quarter. Hey, there's always something new. What's going on in the market? You know, what are your sales volumes year to date? Also, if you have designations, there's a place in here for your designations. It is underneath here, certification. So if you have your GRI or your ABR or your, CCIM or whatever it is, that's great. Use the initials here. But in your bio, please spell it out for consumers so that they know what that means, right? No consumer generally knows what an ABR is or what a CCIM is. What does that mean? How many classes did you take? How many credit hours did it take? Once you've made all your changes, those will be reflected on your bio page. Hey, great information about why to use me as a real estate agent. For your testimonials, you can enter in your testimonials here. Those you'll find underneath marketing testimonials. You can enter them. But also, if you go to your preferences, you can attach your Zillow or your Real Satisfied to your account. So if you have a different email address that is in your profile than is what is on your website, no big deal. Put in your Zillow email address here. We'll automatically pull your Zillow reviews. If you're using Real Satisfied to help you distribute your reviews, you just need to put in your Real Satisfied vanity key, and it will show those testimonials there. Again, making sure that once you click save, so that everything can be reflected on your page. Any questions about how to edit the information here? Awesome. So one last thing that I do want to mention, and that is, because we've been going for about 40 minutes, there are contact forms. So lead capture is built into the site. So if someone's clicking on a contact form, or maybe they're searching for a home, so they're looking at viewing properties, or they're really clicking to see all the homes for sale, or they're creating, they're signing up for a portal, or whatever they're doing, you're getting notified of leads either via text, via email, and or via phone. Again, if you want to edit how you're notified of leads, you're going to go to your name, your profile, and underneath that preferences tab, you're going to choose how you are notified of leads: by email, by text, or by phone. So there's a lot of information there for you as well. We have about 4 minutes left before we hit the 45-minute mark. Are there any specific questions that I can answer for you when it comes to editing your website? So far today, we've talked about how to get to your website, that you scroll to the very bottom of the screen and click on Sites Login to log in. If you haven't touched the design in some time, you're going to click on the design button. You also can go in, you can add your own pages, you can edit your menus, and you also can edit your About Me. All of your About Me information you edit in the back office under your profile. This session is recorded. You will get a copy of it today. It will come from support@backatyou.com. so that you can go back and revisit it. It also will be posted on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. And if you want to see upcoming sessions and you don't know where to start, if you go to showtime.backatyou.com, you can see an entire list of all of the sessions that we have coming up. All of them are recorded, but we would, of course, love to have you join us live. Kurt, that's a good question. So Kurt's question is, if email, text, or phone, which should we choose in order to not have messages just sitting on some server? Kurt, those are notifications that automatically go out from the system. So they come directly to your phone, to your email, or to your text. It depends on what you check first. For me in the morning, I don't check my email before 8 o'clock in the morning typically. But I do check my text messages immediately upon waking up. So for me, having a text first and then an email during business hours works. You need to decide what works best for you and how you want to receive those notifications. Good question. Any other questions that I can answer for you all? All right. Thank you all so much. I hope to see you next week.